We're going to start the build series on the TLR 22DC Elite. I've been recording clips as I went along. A lot of them are going to be close-ups. I'm going to show you as much as possible, step by step, through this whole build. This is part one. Here we go. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. Yes, I finally started on the 22 5.0 Dirt Clay Elite. Just getting the first steps going, so I'm literally on step A1, and step A1 is building one side of the differential, the thrust balls. So I have to black grease these. You kind of start with some greasy job. We get that side of the diff installed, and on this side you do some clear grease on here, and you have to collapse the spring down one. So I've already got some of the parts laid out. So we've got the plastic here, screw goes in. I'm going to put some black grease around that, and then I need to install these balls. You do get the grease with the kit, so this is the high pressure grease. You don't even have to cut the tip off. Unscrew the lid, is already open. That's nice. This is where I almost wish they would give you a technique in the book for doing this. I'm not sure that this is actually the best method. I'm going to put a bead around for the balls to stick into. They're so small, I'm going to use... Oh, no, that didn't work. Man, you don't get any extras either. If I even lose one, I think you're screwed. This is kind of a nerve-wracking first step. Alright, well that was an unfortunate start. I did lose one ball already. I only got 5 instead of 6, but I don't know, we'll just have to go with 5 and call it weight savings. Ugh. Five instead of 6 balls. Gonna have to do it that way. This is a really daunting first step. You have to hold on to all these balls and the grease while you drop it down inside of this cup. Why is it not going? There we go. So put that down in, then you put this cap over top. You can use the note in the instruction. You got to really shove that down in there. So that's like the end cap to stop the balls from flying out, which is good because I've got one less ball in there than I'm supposed to have. Looks right. And then I'm supposed to take the clear grease and go around the outside of this ring with the silicone clear, as well as put a bearing in. So I'm going to pop the bearing in now. Bearing goes in the center of all of this. I'm having to press really hard. Really hard. There you go. Squeeze it between your fingers a little bit. And then you can get enough pressure to have it come out. Oh, I'm squeezing as hard as I can though. Put a ring on. Diff goop. Hold it on. Nice. Now we're on to A2. You said to compress this spring once, so I'm going to do that now. I should be wrapping this in a towel and do it, but I'm not going to, so here we go. Because I want you to be able to see it. Compress it down once, and then we'll put it in. I need to lubricate this side. This stuff is so thick. Wow. More is always better than less for lubrication. Smush that on there. Then you want a bearing on here. Flip it around. Drop in the spring. And then the end cap. And again, I'm probably going to have to push it down. Boom. Okay, that's steps A1 and A2 complete. Now we're on to A3, where we install the diff balls and sandwich it together. Lube in first or the balls are going to fall right through. They don't tell you this stuff. This is just things that you learn from building. Because if you try and do it the way that they're showing, you just have greasy balls in your hand and then have to pop them in here. I prefer to do it where the balls are dry, drop all the balls in and get them into place. It's easier to have them go in a hole and stick if you've greased the gear up first. Anyway, so I'm going to carry on and fill that out. And you're going to press them in, you're going to feel it like pop, pop into the middle. Now all the balls are installed and they will stick in place. That's how I do it. Now, we put these two together. Orientation does not seem to matter because the gear is symmetrical. And I'm going to have to screw this together. So it says to screw it down, tighten diff until resistance is felt while working diff by hand. It's just a little bit of resistance there now, and then back it off 1/8 of a turn. Oh, it seems tight but good. And with that, the ball differential is complete and ready to be set aside, because the next steps are the B's are just building the links. So B1 is building a link, B2 is building a link, B3 is building a link. I'm not going to show that stuff. Doing the links is never fun. I really do not enjoy building links very much. I did use my Techno RC tool to hold on to the links as I was building them, and then another plier, and it didn't do too bad. I did kind of mar one up. I actually went too far the wrong way. One of them was going to be a little weak. We'll see if it breaks. But the next step is they want you to start building shocks in step C, and I felt like I wasn't really in the mood to build shocks, so what I decided to do was carry on, skip over the shocks, and jump right over to D, where we get to start with the chassis. The mudguard uses stuff called Stiffenzel. You'll start to see some SZL parts. Is the Stiffenzel parts. There we go, I changed my lens. I got a wider view now, so you're not so close. Step D2, you start to get your first tuning option, and I spent quite a bit of time of wondering, am I gonna install both of these shims? So you get options here: super low roll center, low roll center, mid roll center, and high roll center. For the front, this is what where your arms are going to attach to this block. So it's a shim that sits how far low under this chassis you want. And I spent some time researching it, and I realized after that the super low roll center is a new option in the Elite that they're giving you. So I'm going to trust the Elite setups. I'm going to build this to the box stock spec, and we'll go from there, because I did start looking up a bunch of setup sheets, and I saw that Frank Root likes to run low roll center and Dakota Fend likes to run super low roll center, but I also don't know if Frank Root has an Elite kit yet. If he gets an Elite, maybe he would want to start doing this. I don't know. I'm going to try and build it to the book spec where it says kit. So we're going to do that and see how it handles out of the box Elite kit. Some of the changes with the Elite is you're getting things like super low roll center. Normal 5.0 dirt cars are low roll center, as well as they don't come with stiff plastics. This car is going to come with stiff front arms and the normal rear arms, as well as +2 shock towers. So that's going to change the setup completely versus a normal car, and I'm going to follow the manual and see how it turns out. These are kind of marked, so I found that you want to have this on the bottom when you install these. Make sure you're applying them the right way. So that's my super low roll center shims, and then those will go underneath here, and then you install the mounts. And just like that, very easy step, it is complete. So this is now super low roll center front blocks installed. And they do mention to not over tighten the 2 screws that go on the bottom here. So it does drop those front arms down by quite a bit from the kick up. Anyway, we'll see what happens for handling. Cool. All right, carrying on. For step D3, we finally get our first look at some of the Elite aluminum pieces. So these are black anodized with chamfered edges with the raw aluminum showing through, and that's how all the aluminum is on the Elite cars. They've gone to this black color scheme versus all the other TLRs were always this gold color. And time to build the Bellcranks. And when you get into symbols like this, I don't necessarily know what that means, so I do need to flip back to the start. Ensure free rotation. All right, and the other one, the prior step that I just did had one of those, which is Do not over tighten. That's on page 8. When you're checking your sizing, they do have the 1-to-1 scale up here at the start of the step, so you can just make sure that you got the right size bearing and the right size washer, because when you open these bags you get a lot of different sizes, so it's always good to double check to make sure that you're doing it properly. Okay, the steering bell cranks are done, and this is one of the reasons you buy an Elite kit, is because you definitely do not get super nice aluminum bell cranks like this in any of the other TLR 22 kits. That's a beautiful piece. This is an expensive upgrade alone with all the bearings and the aluminum that goes into this. Pretty awesome. As well as all these links are titanium, although you can't really tell. And step D4 is bearings on the post, put the bell crank over, bearings on the top. So that's all I have to do. Pop bearings on, throw this over top, and then bearings on top. Pretty nice. D5 looks to be some sort of a front tower of some sort. We've got these little aluminum inserts. They need to go inside of the plastic, and then a washer and a screw and nuts on the back. So that's all I'm doing is popping those in and carrying on with the install. There is some options here. It's showing me that this is the 22 5.0 kit. This is the piece that I have, as well as this is what I'm going to be doing, number 3 for the kit. Balls on the outside, just like that. I also appreciate little things like this. You see how it's going to capture the nut, so the nut is not going to be able to spin. It's going to sink down in, hold the nut while you tighten on the ball. That's awesome. Okay, next up we're on to D6, which is the front body mount, and this all ties together, makes this piece, and then this piece goes onto the chassis, which finishes the support structure here. Although I have another decision to make, which is, do I want to run a front body post or not? In this center section here, you can run a front little body post. So I'm going to look into that. I'm tired, it's late. I'm going to end phase 1 of my build here. We built the ball differential, all the links, chassis guards, and front steering system. Cool. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. That finishes part 1. Then we'll carry on with build part 2 coming soon.